What's going on, mi gente? My people. This is a common trend I'm seeing. I'll wait till a couple of y'all get in there. I just need like one person to talk to. That's all. Here we go. This is a common trend that I'm seeing. Every time there's a police brutality and a black person is the victim of an unarmed, let me rephrase that, an unarmed black person. If you're trying to shoot a cop or some shit like that, you deserve whatever the fuck you got coming to you, but an unarmed black person is senselessly murdered by a person in a position of authority. And then when folk go around screaming Black Lives Matter, there's always some side factions of individuals that want to take the spotlight off of the brutality that just happened and try to make it about everybody. That is deflection. That is deflection at its finest. It's already implied and understood that all lives matter. That's automatic. That's rhetorical. You understand what I'm saying? The issue is, it just seems like a lot of people that are in positions of authority and power seem to forget that black folks are human beings. You know? And a lot of us always get the short end of the stick because people seem to forget that black lives do matter. You know, if these people in positions of power and authority actually believe that black lives matter, and it's not even about the crimes and atrocities committed towards black people, because crimes and atrocities befall everybody. It's the fact that motherfuckers get away with that shit, and not only do the perpetrators get away from it, they actually get rewarded for it. Prime example, George Zimmerman, got like 400,000 in GoFundMe. I don't know the math on everybody that killed an unarmed black person recently and got off. But I'm willing to bet a lot of those race soldiers got rich from killing a nigga, straight up. You know, like I hate when you say Black Lives Matter, right? And then somebody says some bullshit like, but yo, the people in Chicago, they killing each other. They don't think Black Lives Matter, because the message isn't for black people that got beef with each other. The message is for people in positions of power and authority, executing bullshit justice or the lack thereof to those that senselessly murdered black folks. And the message, even though it's kind of silly, but the message is also to the perpetrators, like to a Derek Chauvin, to remind them, like when they're in the process of killing somebody over some bullshit, like just because his skin is darker than you, he's a human being. Like, calm the fuck down. But you know, trying to rationalize and reason with a racist and trying to be calm with a racist person, it's like trying to like tame a lion. Not even a lion, because a lion could be tame. It's like trying to like domesticate a crocodile. They just a savage, small brain, reptilian motherfucker who only knows savagery. You understand that the alligator's only gonna respond if you cut a part of his tail off, or if you cut off his front paw or some shit like that, or if you cut off his snout. That's the only way it's going to react and jump back. You know what I'm saying? So the proverbial cutting off of the forearm or the tail or the snout that we see right now are the riots. Some people will only respond to you violent as crazy ass destructive shit. I mean, this country was formed and founded on violent ass, crazy ass destructive shit. From the American Revolution, Boston Tea Party, Civil War. You know, this whole country was built on violence, rape, kidnapping, all kinds of crazy shit. Shit way more vile than just those riots. People just smashing shit and getting attention. You know? People just smash shit and getting attention. Like, yo, we tired of this bullshit. It's not even, like I said before, it's not even about people gonna kill people. That's automatic. So it's not about that. It's the fact that motherfuckers is getting away with it, A, and B, they're getting off. If a black person was on camera killing another black person in that form of fashion with their knee in the back of their neck while two other black dudes hold their legs down and one black dude blocks off the people or intimidates the crowd, you know what I mean, from getting involved, all four of the motherfuckers would have got murder one charges. Again, because it goes back to the thing, because even though those guys are cops, like say if they were black cops in that situation, their lives don't matter. So that's why it's easier to charge them, like overcharge them. So that's what it's all about. Saying Black Lives Matter doesn't mean that you don't think other lives matter. It's already implied. It's already understood. Because other motherfuckers and other groups don't get a shitty ass shake, or they get a better shake, or more of a fair shake. Is different groups that still get screwed over. But it's like the society treats black folks like we at the bottom of the barrel for whatever reason. Just because of a skin tone, something you have absolutely no control over unless you a Kardashian. You know? But it's not necessary to say that all lives matter, especially in this particular time, because it's already understood. I'll give you a prime example. It's like if your grandmother died, you at her funeral, right? And you sad about your grandmother, and then somebody else that's in the funeral be like, yo, but my grandmother died too. Let's bring attention to my grandmother. But like, no, this is my funeral. My grandmother's in the casket right there. We are honoring my grandmother right now. Yes, other grandmothers have passed away, but at this particular moment, we are focused on this person in this wake, in this funeral that just passed away. So it's kind of insensitive to bring up other individuals that passed away at this particular moment with this particular situation that we're dealing with. It's some diversionary shit. It's to take you off your square, and on top of that, it's to make you feel guilty and feel insensitive for saying Black Lives Matter. Well, I'm saying Black lives, but damn, maybe I am insensitive to other human beings because I'm not saying other human beings' lives matter. You show that other human beings matter just by how you treat people in general, you know? Black folks getting the short end of the stick, bullshit ass charges, like, you know what I'm saying, disproportionate sentencing for similar crimes, all kinds of shit. Because for the most part, the people who are in positions of power and authority, they don't really see a value in our lives. So sometimes you gotta remind motherfuckers. You gotta say Black Lives Matter. This message isn't directed towards people that love everybody. No, this is directed towards the people who don't say anything that could say something in the face of injustices. And this is for the people that outright hate. Even though you can't really, you can't really reach the people that truly hate. A person that's a truly hateful person, they just have to want to change for themselves. It's not really something that you can convince them. It's something that just has to spark inside of them. It's kind of like what is it? It's kind of like iRobot. You know, he had like a small spark of consciousness that he kept dwelling on it and just manifested and gave him more humanity. I think every human being has that potential to do good. I really believe that, you know. But the message more or less is for those that are on the fence, that have that spark inside of them. And by saying Black Lives Matter, maybe this fans the flames inside of their head to actually stand up in the face of injustice, where their voice is more heard than the voices of minorities who are being ignored because they're being viewed as subhuman. You understand what I'm saying? And in these protests, man, and these riots, you don't just see black folks, you see all kinds of folks. It's a whole bunch of different factions. You got the black folks that are sincere. You got the black folks that's trying to steal shit. You got the non-black folks that's sincere. You got the non-black folks that's trying to steal shit. So that's 4 different factions. And then you got the faction of motherfuckers, I think black and white, but from what I'm seeing, mainly just non-black, that they want riots and they want chaos, you know? And then you got motherfuckers out there that's just taking selfies and they just want to feel like they're revolutionaries. They just want to take pictures and have photo opportunities. And they just love drama. And I see a couple of my Facebook friends, you ain't no fucking revolutionary. We just love drama, and this epitomizes drama, so you throwing yourself knee deep into that shit. But it's cool. whatever. It's like 6 or 7 different types of people that are in these situations, in these protests. I ain't knocking nobody for it. I'm just calling it up. I'm calling it objectively for what it is. You know. Kudos to those that are sincere with their feet to the ground and out there. You know what? I say kudos to everybody that's out there, regardless of the reason why you out there. Any of y'all motherfuckers could get sprayed. Like, it could be a trigger-happy cop, or somebody in the crowd could just start shooting at the cops or have a fake gun just to cause all kinds of chaos and shit like that. Shit could get really, 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 really ugly. Like on some suicide, I mean genocide type shit. But so far in Connecticut, we've been pretty good. We've had protests in Hartford, and you know, it's been peaceful. The most we did was not we, but the people that protested. The most they did, it was you know, stop up some traffic. I think in New Haven they threw like a Molotov cocktail at a I don't know why I'm laughing, but they threw a Molotov cocktail at a police precinct to try to burn it down. But you ain't gonna just burn down a police building by throwing a Molotov cocktail on the outside at some bricks. You know, bricks don't burn. You know what I'm saying? But they pretty much quelled that. I don't know what's going on as far as Bridgeport, but Connecticut, there haven't really been any riots. They said that there's been talk of riots, but I guess they got a lot of like investigators like perusing people's social media and stuff like that, and trying to like head it off before it actually happens. But I think to myself, like, if the riots did pop off, right, and they bust open the bank, right, and it was just mad. You know, one of my banks is Santander, so it's just mad Santander money. And I happen to be driving and seeing the chaos. Should I stop and scoop up 20, 30 grand? You know what I'm saying? And be like, I got my reparations. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It would be hard. I need to come up like a motherfucker, and it would be hard, and it's all insured. So it would be, I'm not saying I would go in the building, but the money was just, you know, the explosion, boom, and then dollar bills and shit was flying everywhere. I don't know. Don't know. It would be hard for me to say no. But yeah, can we please stop saying this all lives matter shit? I feel like when you go out of your way, like when somebody's grieving over a black person and calling for justice for a black person that was senselessly murdered by a person in position of power and authority, and you say all lives matter, you're low-key racist. You're low-key racist. Racist, not racist. You're low-key racist. And if that's what you want to be, you have every right to be. But don't try to make people that say Black Lives Matter feel guilty as if they don't care about other people. That's a fucking crock of shit. Because the focus isn't on all other people. People of other races aren't getting murdered in public on television. Not to the magnitude that the way black folks are. Unarmed people. Like, we're not seeing that shit. How many different situations and cases have we seen of white folks that were serial killers and school shooters and movie theater shooters that get apprehended with no incident? Like the whole Dylan Roof, and they gave him Burger King. I think that shit was a farce. That shit don't bother me. Like, it's as if Burger King is some type of fine cuisine. Who gives a fuck? Burger King's some poisonous ass shit, man. Burger King makes me sick every time I eat that shit. So good they gave him that shit. Hopefully that motherfucker had diarrhea when he went to the prison. That whole Burger King narrative, I could see if they took him to Ruth Chris, you know what I'm saying, dinner for 3 out of this bitch, and gave him some wine and steak. But it was a fucking 4 for 4. And who's to say he even ate that shit? Like, come on, man. Like, y'all had the camera on Dylan Roof while he was eating Burger King. Shut the fuck up. Like, people, like, they put out bullshit ass stories, anything just to stir people up and make them more upset. I don't co-sign that bullshit at all. No. Humanity matters, obviously. Humanity matters, obviously. But as long as motherfuckers act like black lives don't matter, then you're gonna have people that saying black lives do matter. That's simple logic. If Jews was getting fucked up like this, the way black people was, the hashtag would be Jew Lives Matter. If Chinese was getting fucked up like this, you know what I'm saying, the way black folks were, the hashtag would be Chinese Lives Matter. And so on and so forth. If the Chinese was getting fucked up to this degree, and there was a hashtag that said Chinese Lives Matter, you would think motherfuckers was raving, yo, Chinese Lives Matter, but all lives matter though. Don't throw out other hashtags just to bring away attention from the main subject that's going on, man. At least I try not to do that. It's corny, and I'm gonna call it out every single motherfucking time that I see it, man. I'm gonna call it out. This is the call out right here. This video is the call out. That's pretty much all I had to say. I holler at y'all. Listen, I don't judge you if you're looting. I don't judge you if you're rioting. I commend you if you're protesting, man. Listen, whatever you want to do, this is what you choose to do. Just try to stay safe out there. One thing I will say, if George Floyd wasn't killed, I'm not saying riots would have never happened, but people wouldn't be rioting for that situation. You understand? You got motherfuckers pent up for the past 3 months on some COVID shit that's fucking murky as fuck. Either it kills you or it doesn't affect you at all. The most widespread murky situation ever. And then you finally let them out, and then this bullshit happens. So they're trying to create another reason for them to put us up inside, a la martial law. It's just fortunate, you know, like these protests have been happening all over the United States, and riots and things of that nature. It's just fortunate nobody started busting guns, man, or fireworks or some shit like that, because the shit could get on some gruesome, ugly shit. Y'all don't even know how ugly this shit could potentially get, man. The crowds, even the riots and crowds, because there's no guns and stuff like that. The crowds are relatively contained, man. They're relatively contained. Somebody start getting pissed off and shooting at on some suicidal shit. I'm just saying, man. Shit could get ugly like a motherfucker. I just hope we just keep it relatively contained, and these motherfuckers start listening. And they need to upgrade Derek Chauvin's charges, man. Give him murder 1 or murder 2. No, murder 1 is premeditated, but murder 2, give him murder 2. Murder 3 is more like almost like an accidental murder. Nah, like this motherfucker, he didn't plan on murdering him, but when he started fucking doing what he was doing, he was like, you know what, I'm about to kill this motherfucker. That's not premeditated. That you kind of create the idea as it's happening, but and charge the rest of the officers. Start giving some of these punk ass, I can't even call them cops, man. These fucking fake cops. They're not real cops, they're fake cops. These fake ass officers, start giving them the stiffest and harshest of penalties, man. It's just like a doctor. If a doctor fucks up on some medical malpractice shit, he gets huge fines. Because he's supposed to be a professional. He's supposed to know exactly what he's doing. You know, and he's supposed to be careful and take all the necessary precautions. The same thing should apply to these police officers, man. They fuck up in a sinister way like that, they should get the stiffest of penalties. They're held to a higher standard, right? So their penalties should be even more extreme than citizens. Because they're held to a higher standard, their penalties should be worse. I don't know. Y'all don't hear me though. I'll holler at y'all. Hashtag everybody need more green.